Welcome to the #SpeakEasy podcast, getting paid to hit the stage with your host, award-winning speaker and author, Altaviz Palzer.
Hey, guys. So I had to go live and do this really special episode of the #SpeakEasy podcast because, man, I just was awarded this week with the Speaker on the Rise award from SpeakerCon, which is organized by Dr. Cheryl Wood. Man, it was an honor to be recognized in such high esteem. But there were so many things that literally stood out in my mind, and I was like, oh my goodness, I have to tell the #SpeakEasy community about this, because a lot of them as entrepreneurs have been kind of in a whirlwind within the last few years, and you've kind of not stuck to your habits, your healthy habits. There may have been some things that you've been trying things out here and there, trying to find the way to making the money that you wanted to make in your business. And I've been there many times, even with this previous year, with me going and becoming an influencer on Amazon. Man, it, seems like it strayed away from the main focus, but the main focus for me has always been unmuting the voice of women across the world. And so getting back into a habit of that meant, what were the key elements to, what I wanted to do? I wanted to publish books. I wanted to speak on stages, and I wanted to go ahead and mentor women. And looking at the journey that I've had over these last few years, I've been able to do those things, but not at the capacity and the level that I wanted to do them. So I try to do things according to the guidelines that have been set before me. So this is the first thing that I wanted to share with you guys, because with having an acceptance speech, with having, being honored, you get an acceptance speech that you're supposed to give. And I had woke up a few weeks ago like, oh my goodness, acceptance speech. I've never had to give one. Now, mind you, this is not my first award. This is my second award. The first award was my ILA award, which is an Indie Author Legacy Award. That is for one of my books. And so this is not my first award, but this is the first time me giving an awards acceptance speech. And so I created my speech weeks ago. And then I received an email from the organizer asking that our speeches be about 2 minutes in length, or shorter than 2 minutes. Because, they had a lot to go through, and they still had a guest speaker and some other things they were doing. Can I tell you, sidebar, the whole night was epic. If you have not been checking out my Instagram, I've been sharing different things from the night periodically, including my acceptance speech. I've been sharing different things throughout the night, and man, when I tell you, it was epic, you guys. So I wanted to make sure that I was obedient to what was said. And so my oldest daughter, I had talked to her and had kind of went over the speech a little bit with her, and I was ready. I was practicing it. I was going over it in my head. And then it's the day of. I get there. I'm in the room. And I'm nervous. Because let's be honest, I'm still an introvert, you guys. And so there's going to be a number of people in the room. Come on, in the room where it happens. The room where it happens. There's going to be numerous people in the room. And there's a nervousness because I want to be, I want to make an impact with what I say. And I was really deliberate about the words that I used. I was really deliberate about my timing. And y'all, I not only gave my speech, I did it in less than 2 minutes, 1 minute and 35 seconds to be exact. But then I got some great responses after the speech. And I think so many times we get into a space where we count ourselves out before we even get on the stage. I'll be honest, there were many reasons why I could have counted myself out even before I got on that stage. I didn't look the part, I didn't sound the part, I this, I that. I mean, there's so many things that go through our minds on a regular basis that make us discount who we are. But the reality is I'm a speaker. I've been speaking for years. I've been impacting people with my words, and my words are valuable. And I had to see the value in my words before somebody else could. Let that breathe. Hold on to that for a second. Because we think our spouse isn't listening to us. We think our children aren't listening to us. We think the world doesn't hear us. But there is power in your words and your voice. And so the process of becoming unmuted is one that is not only valuable for the people that hear you, but it's valuable for you. Because now you get to hear yourself. And here's the funny thing. 2 things ran through my mind as I went to that stage. 1, girl, don't you fall up these steps. Oh my God. If you fall up these steps, just lay there. Don't get up. Just lay there for a minute. Because that is so embarrassing. There are cameras everywhere. And then the second was, girl, don't forget the speech. Now, the first one was a little vain, a little vanity. Nobody wants to trip up the steps. But the second one was because I wanted to leave my fingerprints on the SpeakerCon stage. It's one thing to get an award and get up there and, okay, great. It's a whole other thing to leave a fingerprint, to leave something significant on the stage so that people look at you and say, wow, that is the example. That is the example. And so I go ahead, I get on stage. Man, I did it. I shared my heart. I became unmuted on a different stage and shared my heart. And the response is one that I'm proud of. I had a couple amens throughout the room. Some clapping happened. And while everyone in that room may not have known my name before I got on that stage, when I walked off the stage, they knew who I was. I was Altavice Pelzer, your voice manager. I was unmuted and an instigator to show them that they could be unmuted too. That part. But then I go to my seat, and a gentleman at the next seat over says, wow, that was so powerful. You made such a powerful statement in such a short amount of time. So I just had to let that breathe for a second because, listen, I've gotten off stages and had somebody walk up to me and tell me I needed a waist trainer. I've gotten off stages and had people high-five me and everything and not buy not one of my programs. I've gotten off stages and then had to go and support other people and then volunteer and do all these things and wasn't really walking 100% in my craft. I've gotten off stages and felt like crap because I felt like what I was saying on the stage was not authentically me, but it was what was required for that particular event. I've gotten off stages where I had to wear a mask because I had to fit a certain look. But when I got off the stage at SpeakerCon 2021, I came off with boldness, confidence, and a little bit of sass, okay? Because reality check. Being a speaker was more than a business for me. Being a speaker is purpose for me. And although I may get nervous, I still have moments where I shudder at being on a stage in front of hundreds of people. Every time I open my mouth and there is a mic in my hand, from the podcast to the stage, I make sure that an impact is going to happen. I'm going to shift something for you. Because that is part of my purpose too. So I'm honored, y'all, that I received the Speaker on the Rise Award. And I'm honored that I was celebrated. I had my aunt and my uncle there with me because my mother passed away years ago. And so they were there to celebrate with me. And then afterwards, that's where the real joy came in. So I had different things happening afterwards. People were coming up and wanting to connect and collaborate. And I had someone say to me, another one of the honorees in another category. And from the stage, in the midst of his acceptance speech, he looks at me and says, when you said unmuted, I saw that as $1 million brand. And I smiled because it's more than $1 million brand. It's 1 million lives brand. Like the money, yeah, it's $1 million brand. There's a lot that can be done with it. But it's 1 million lives brand. That part. And so I want to speak to all of the hashtag Speakeasy podcast listeners that come in, and you're in the first year, you're in the 5th year, you may be in the 15th year, no matter what level you are at in your business. Own your story. Even if where you are right now is not where you want to be. Own your story. Own it. It was through me owning my story that I was able to get to this point. Not just me going and saying, let me go ahead and be in this person's crowd and do what they said do. And I tried that and it don't work, y'all. It really don't. But when you own who you are, the evidence of that, of who you are, will show up authentically. 1 minute and 35 seconds. Can I tell you something? There are speakers that have been trained through many different programs that could never do a speech in 1 minute and 35 seconds. When unmuted became more than just a cute term, it became a mission that shifted so many things. And it will continue to open doors and create opportunities. So we had 2 awards, y'all. My Isla and my SpeakerCon Speaker on the Rise. Now we just got to get one for the podcasting. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, your girl out here just sharing her heart with the peoples. But I know that is, again, making the impact. Appreciate where you are. Because it's on the journey to where you're going and where you want to be. Y'all, I can't, like, I hope you can hear the smile on my face right now. Epic. Okay, experience epic. And I know even more are coming. So I had that happen. And can I tell you the most valuable piece for me was afterwards going up to my room and talking to my kids on the phone and sharing with them and sending them pictures and hearing them tell me how beautiful I looked in the dress and how amazing that is. The award looked great. Like, that warmed my heart. Having that conversation, because interestingly enough, I was getting an award for Speaker on the Rise. And my oldest daughter is currently in a class where she is speaking. And she's being put into a position of being a speaker. And it warms my heart because I know that she's become unmuted because I took that first step and became unmuted myself. When we talk about legacy, I know a lot of people always relate it to money and finances. But can we have a legacy of becoming unmuted? A legacy of telling our truth, owning our story? A legacy of being bold and confident in who we are, who we were called to be? A legacy of walking in purpose, our God-given purpose. Can we have that? Because I think that is the greatest place to be. I can tell you, I missed out. I dropped the ball. I didn't take pictures with my books. I normally take like mock-up photos of my books and stuff in different areas when I'm out and traveling and speaking. I didn't take my books. I didn't do none of the above, y'all. But it was okay because I celebrated my accomplishment in the moment. That's the final thing I want to leave with you guys. Because so many times we'll go and we won't celebrate the accomplishment in the moment because we're looking for someone else to celebrate us. We won't celebrate the accomplishment in the moment because we think if we celebrate too much, we'll make people jealous. Can I tell you something? You're not making them jealous. There's something that they've gone through that makes them jealous. You're not making them jealous. There's something that you have to understand. You got to be unapologetic about your accomplishments because you put in the work. And when you keep ignoring what you have accomplished, at some point, you'll stop wanting to accomplish anything. This is your push. This is your shove off of the cliff. It's time for you to become unmuted. Whatever that looks like, whatever that should be, it's time to take that step forward. With that being said, I appreciate you guys because without you, there would be no #Speakeasy podcast. And until next time, don't forget to press it out. See ya.
Thanks for listening. If you were inspired, leave us a 5-star review, share with a friend, and subscribe.